Eminem is no stranger to controversy, whether it be due to his raunchy and offensive lyrics or his personal affairs. Dude's been through a lot. But this story might be one of the most shocking of those controversies. Back in 1999, Eminem released the wildly popular Slim Shady LP, which featured the song Brain Damage, which will be the topic of today's video. Well, maybe not the topic, but it's what started the whole thing. In this song, Eminem tells the tale of a time where he was brutally assaulted by one of his real childhood bullies, D'Angelo Bailey. I'm not going to play the clip of the song where he talks about this because UMG will claim this video instantly, so instead I'm just going to read off the lyrics, and hopefully they don't copyright that either. I was harassed daily by this fat kid named D'Angelo Bailey, an 8th grader who acted obnoxious because his father boxes, so every day he'd shove me in the lockers. One day he came in the bathroom while I was pissing and had me in the position to beat me into submission. He banged my head against the urinal till he broke my nose, soaked my clothes in blood, grabbed me and choked my throat. I tried to plead and tell him we shouldn't beef, but he just wouldn't leave. He kept choking me and I couldn't breathe. Now that part of the song I'm going to assume is the truth, but Eminem revealed later on that a handful of details were changed to fit the rhyme scheme better, and parts of the story were entirely false, and it's obvious which parts those are when you listen to the whole song, but the bullying he talks about actually went down. A few examples are that in the song it said that this happened to him in 8th grade, but in reality it went down when he was in 4th grade and Bailey was in 6th. Eminem also says in the song that when the principal stumbles upon him getting beat up in the bathroom, he actually joins in, so obviously that didn't happen, but he was still definitely abused by Bailey and a handful of other bullies when he went to Dort Elementary. It's reported that he was beaten so badly on multiple occasions that he suffered from concussions, lacerations, cerebral hemorrhages, and loss of consciousness. One time actually falling into a coma due to the severity of the beating. It got to the point where his mother said enough and filed a lawsuit against the school system in 1982 for not protecting her son against the bullies. I found a quote from one of Eminem's Rolling Stone interviews where he talked about the brutal bullying that Bailey brought to him. That's a lot of B's right there. Mother effer used to beat the shit out of me. I was in 4th grade, he was in 6th. D'Angelo Bailey. I'll never forget that kid. It's clear that Bailey traumatized the young M, so it makes what he does about the song that makes him seem like even more of a scumbag. The dude hears what Eminem said about him in Brain Damage, and in 2003 he tries to sue him for $1 million on defamation of character, like he wasn't the guy beating up a kid 2 years younger than him. Bailey lodged his suit under the premise that it was causing him embarrassment and difficulty launching his own rap career. That's just unbelievable. The dude really thought that suing the guy that he bullied when he was a kid was the most logical thing to do just because he blew up and brought it up in a song. It's clear that D'Angelo was not the sharpest knife in the drawer. And I think it's worth noting that Eminem's mom, Debbie, also filed a lawsuit against him 4 years earlier in 1999 for defamation of character as well, and wanted $10 million from him for his depiction of her in his music, but she lost the case and only got $1,600. It kind of makes you think though, either Eminem is lying in his music about D'Angelo and his mom, or they're just salty that he's mostly telling the truth. My gut feeling is leaning towards the latter though, especially after both people lost their cases. I think they just wanted that man's money once he blew up, but back to the subject. In court, D'Angelo's biggest argument lied in the fictionalized parts of the song, which was a huge mistake. Bailey's lawyer argued that Eminem made it all up to create sympathy about his upbringing, stating, Eminem is a Caucasian male who faced criticism within the music industry that he had not suffered through difficult circumstances growing up and was therefore a pretender in the industry. Eminem used Bailey, his African-American childhood schoolmate, as a pawn in his effort to stem the tide of criticism. That's right. This man really tried to make this a race thing when that was simply not the case. The statement was even negated by Bailey himself when he said, there was a bunch of us that used to mess with him, you know, bully type things. We flipped him right on his head at recess. When we didn't see him moving, we took off running. We lied and said he slipped on the ice. He was a wild kid, but back then we thought it was stupid. You just can't make this stuff up. I don't know how D'Angelo Bailey and his attorney walked into that courtroom thinking they were gonna win. Their argument was that Eminem made it seem like he got it much worse than he did, but it was severe enough for Debbie Mathers to sue the school system over it, and I'm sure there are medical records of his condition as he was hospitalized at least once due to the attacks. So I think it's pretty clear that it was as bad as Eminem made it seem. Bailey literally proved the realities of the song to be true by admitting to the bullying, and the fictionalized parts were just that. Fiction. Judge Deborah Servito could tell that they were full of it, and I gotta say, she's a real one. She dismissed the case, but not before spitting her own set of bars. She literally wrote her own rap. She wrote, Mr. Bailey complains that his raps are trash, so he's seeking compensation in the form of cash. Bailey thinks he's entitled to some monetary gain because Eminem used his name in vain. The lyrics are stories no one would take as fact. They're an exaggeration of a childish act. It is therefore this court's... I messed that up really bad. It is therefore this court's ultimate position that Eminem is entitled to summary disposition. I know, Bars. Nah, I'm playing. But on a real note, this is where I'm going to end the video because this is where the story ends. So I just want to say thank you for watching. I put a lot of effort and research into this video. So if you enjoyed or learned something new, please hit that like button. It's been Isaiah the Player, and I'm gone.